Good evening, Canby. Welcome to our regular city council meeting for April 5th, 2023. We have a very strict down agenda for this evening to get some key items taken care of. But before we get into those, I didn't call it out on the agenda, but would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. So tonight, really the one agenda item that we have is to consider Resolution 1383, a resolution authorizing a personal services agreement with Barry Elsner and Hammond LLP for interim legal services for the City of Canby. And I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Archer to run us through.
Thank you, Mayor. On March 28th, so last Tuesday, Council had a brief special meeting and directed staff and the mayor to go out and try to secure interim legal services for the city. We, per Oregon State purchasing and procurement rules, we went out and sought 3 responses from legal firms that we believed were qualified to provide this service to the city. Of those 3, only one was responsive in a way that was able to provide the services at this time under the conditions, you know, kind of a shortened, quick timeline and under the conditions, and that is Barry Elsner and Hammond LLP. We're familiar with them because they are the firm that provides us special legal services for our urban renewal agency on an as-needed basis, and they have for some time, and they are familiar with operating under providing cities and municipalities legal services, so they're very qualified to do that. The other 2 firms were Miller Nash LLP and Stoll Reeves, thank you. These 2 firms responded, but they responded with letting us know that they could not at this time provide those services. So that is considers that we have received responses and made an effort to at least get 3 quotes from firms. So under procurement rules and under the city's own purchasing policy, we've forwarded to you for consideration tonight the personal services agreement, which is just the city's standard contract with a not to exceed amount of $49,000. That doesn't mean we have to spend that amount. That just allows us to go up to that amount. And that's within my authority to sign for you if you should appoint this firm tonight. And then they also have we've attached, and they provided their letter of engagement to the city, which breaks down their fees. It's just on basically an hourly rate plus materials and any other costs that are affiliated with that. So we've provided you the contract, and then there's an accompanying resolution for you to pass if you wish to proceed with this as we've given that to you. So,
And Scott, just again, I think for clarification pieces on, and it may have just slipped my mind what I was going to comment on. We touched upon the 49,000, which again, your capacity is 50, but that gives us latitude if for some reason we look like we're going to exceed that limit. The piece I do remember was, so part of the piece with Barry Elsner and Hammond was in the request was, and I think you all saw that, was at some of their meetings, they wanted to know to be able to meet the needs that we had, that if there was on the occasion that they would be able to Zoom in for city council meetings, or if we were having an additional executive session outside of the city council meeting nights, that Zoom be an option for them to be able to be present, be available, and help us keep things moving in the interim, if that was still a possibility. Scott and I went through conversation, felt that was still prudent. At least we have the legal representation here for us to be able to conduct business, even on a Zoom perspective. That's just the reality of our world right now in a lot of regards. So I share that as a potential. I don't know if that's creates heartburn for anyone on the dais, but wanted to make sure we shared that information with you as well. So any other questions for staff? Yes.
Thank you, Scott and staff, for getting this to us. One of the things the questions that I had in the personal services agreement, my question, I guess, just is related to how our city charter works and the reporting of the attorney. Under section 4 or subsection A, it says a contractor services provided under the general supervision of the city administrator. I think our city charter says our attorney reports to the city council and to the mayor, and so I want to make sure that we make a change on that personal services agreement to make this attorney also report to the city council and mayor.
I would agree.
And the other is just on their engagement letter. I think it would need the mayor's signature versus the city administrator. And I think that was the same thing, just making sure that this, just by our city charter, I want to make sure we follow the letter of the law on that to have our attorney report to the council like our city charter calls out.
So if I can just add some comments to that. Thank you, Councilor Varga. That's a good point. There is a little nuance to that, which is also by the city charter, the city administrator is the contracting agent for the city. So there's a little, I'm not exactly certain of how we're threading that needle. So you're right, but also I'm supposed to be the contracting agent for the city. So I would feel better if it did reference the city council, because that's under your purview. But as far as the signatures go, perhaps both the mayor and I can sign it, so we're kind of covered both ways. Because
That's a fantastic solution.
I think there's some nuance to the. You appoint the attorney, but I'm the contracting agent, and I'm supposed to sign those contracts. So it is a little bit of a. I'm not sure.
Wonderful. Yeah, I think that's a fantastic.
We'll just cover our bases that way. But
Yeah, dual signature sounds fine to me.
as long as we can just change that section in that services agreement.
I think that's good.
That they report to the council and mayor.
Great.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Councilor Banks.
Yeah, I was just going to comment in regards to that charter that the council hires the city attorney. This appears to be an interim backup attorney. We still have a city attorney that we've hired.
Correct.
And so, and I was comfortable with it the way it originally read.
Okay.
Because we're not replacing Joe?
No.
Right.
No, that is correct. Yeah, this is just an
It's kind of
interim.
an acting as Joe though. So that's where, like Scott said, it's kind of a weird little
It is.
nuance there.
It is a little bit nuanced in that Councilor Varga is correct, and so is Councilor Bangs, and as Scott explained, I think because it's if we had the current city attorney was not on leave and we were hiring additional legal services for the city, that would be in Scott's purview. And to Councilor Bangs' point, yeah, we still have the city attorney, so I see where, he would, Mr. Archer would still be responsible for signing it and executing the contract, but then still be at the services of the council as well. And I think that's kind of what I think both of you are saying in that regards. Yes?
No. My point was that the charter allows us to hire a city attorney. I don't think the charter allows us to hire two city attorneys. And I think it uses the singular. But again, I'm comfortable either way you guys write this up.
Okay. Councilor Patton.
So my question is, I believe right now we're asking questions of city staff. I feel like we are now getting into more of a discussion of a motion, and a motion has not been made yet. So if you'd like, we can do that and then continue this discussion so everything's proper.
Okay,
Yeah,
Mr. Mayor,
I was
I
just trying to
would,
get through any questions that were of staff, and I still felt that was part of the question aspect of it.
well, I move to adopt resolution number 1383, a resolution authorizing a personal services agreement with Barry Elsner and Hammond LLP for interim legal services for the city of Canby as amended.
A second.
Motion has been made by Council President Hensley to approve Resolution 1383, a resolution authorizing a personal services agreement with Barry Elsner and Hammond LLP for interim legal services for the city of Canby as amended. Seconded by Councilor Varga. I think I said that. If not, that was it. Discussion. Yes, Counselor Patton.
I would just like to go on record in an effort to be extremely transparent with all of this. When this whole thing started to get rolling, I reached out to this law firm per the letter and chatted with them about the situation that I found myself in. They made it very clear that they don't do that sort of thing and that they could not advise me on anything other than to send me to somebody else. And so I just wanted to let you know, I don't feel that that influences my decision-making in any way on this. They did not provide me with any information or legal counsel, but I just wanted to make sure that it was plain and clear that I did in fact reach out to them, and so that's pretty much it.
I appreciate that. Thank you, sir. Any other discussion items? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, motion carries 6-0. That really concludes our business this evening for the council. We will be meeting for our second meeting in this month, and that will be a regular scheduled meeting and return to regular business for the city. So appreciate everyone's
You on the 12th then?
meeting. If there is a meeting on the 12th, it would be an executive session with the new law firm, but we will work out those details as soon as the ink dries and they're comfortable getting up to speed with what's going on contract-wise and other issues to have conversation on. I will keep you posted on that.
Okay.
So
Well,
with
in that case, I
that,
move to adjourn.
I will second.
motion has been made and seconded. Those in favor of adjourning this evening?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, we are adjourned. Canby, thank you for joining us.